Hello, welcome to the next Storware webinar. Today we'll discuss how to manage daily backup and recovery operation in the oVirt environment. So let's deep dive and see how you can easily implement our dedicated UI called oVirt Engine UI vProtect extension. So first of all, you need to see where to start. Let's go to my web browser. And you see that on a GitHub, you can find the project in the Storware repository called oVirt Engine UI vProtect extension. This project allows you to download the web UI extension that gives you the ability to manage all of the vProtect management part. So goal is that you don't need to jump between the different UIs. Natively, before we introduce this functionality, nowadays, normally the administrator need to provide the backup and recovery operation via the vProtect UI. You've seen in the previous webinars how to do it in a proper way. So you need to go to the hypervisors, find or add your existing oVirt or RHV or Oracle Linux VM environments by providing access to the oVirt manager. Then in the virtual environment settings, you can find the machines. Let's find this one, Alpine 2006, that I will use for this webinar purposes. So basically, all of the backup and recovery operation you always need to do by native vProtect UI. But the good news is that we have dedicated RESTful endpoints that allows you to have an option to manage all of these operations straight away from the oVirt environment. So coming back, when you will just Google oVirt Engine UI vProtect extension, you will be redirected to the GitHub page. And here you will find the project where exactly we describe how to do a development part, how to build the package, and how to actually configure it. It's quite simple. I will not go how to build it. So it's straight away instruction on a GitHub, but I will explain after you will build and download how to properly configure. So keep in mind that you just need to clone the project into the this vProtect into the user share oVirt Engine UI plugins directory. Then what we need to do, we need to just reconfigure the JSON file in which we will find actual information where your vProtect server it resides, so proper IP or DNS, like here, and credentials that are important to validate and have the option to use the RESTful or the specific endpoints to manage your backup and recovery operation. I advise, of course, do not use the default passwords. Always create on a vProtect dedicated user, like I'm doing right now. So oVirt, for example, oVirt user plugin, for example. Let's take oVirt plugin UI password, etc. So, but always keep in mind, do not use the default password. It's not the best and the secure way to do it. But after that, you create the user, you put the credential into the JSON file. You just need to go to your oVirt, login, and you will see your VM backup, VM backup new tab in the oVirt native UI. So brilliant things that you can have a few options. We'll start with the dashboard. So everything what is important to you to visualize your last 24 hours activities or the jobs that are running with the successful or the failed status. You can manage it and visible everything from the one single pane of glass without jumping out between the UIs like you did before. So here let's concentrate. You can see virtual machines, application, success rate from the last 24 hours activities, so some information about the staging utilization per node. Keep in mind that always, regardless the strategy that you will use when you are protecting the oVirt environments, we need some temporary space, we call it staging space, to collect the VMs before we'll send to the proper backup destination. And we have a bunch of the different options to send the data from the file system through the Dell EMC backup application to the Spectrum Protect. Or what I'm using for today demo purposes, I'm sending the data into the VDO file system, virtual data optimizer, that gives me ability to have the inline, the duplication and compression methods. So you can see that right now in my backup destination, I have a 65% of the data reduction. So it's quite good. We have lots of different backup destination, but I will concentrate on this one. So dashboard, this is the major reason of the dashboard, must give you the proper information about your last 24 hours activity. Next one is the virtual environments, virtual machines. So this is the view, what actually the machines are protected. Let's see first what machines we have on our oVirt environment. Like I said, I will concentrate on this one, Alpine 2006. So let's find this machine in my VM backup virtual machine tab. Alpine 2006. There we go, we have this machine. And let's click on this machine. And this is one of my favorite views, because here you can see a bunch of the good information, all of the stats, all of the options to backup and recover, and the history of the backup and restore operation, and statistics, how much, what is the daily activities, what is the activity for backups, what is the activity for restoration, what is the backup size, what is the backup time that you need to provide the backup operation for this specific machine, what's the restoration time. I haven't done restore yet for this machine, so that's why I don't see anything specific into this chart. Below you see all of the history, so all of the backup history. What was the backup, what type of the backup it was a full or the incremental, restoration, snapshots, how many snapshots we have, and we manage it. Keep in mind that the vProtect don't need to only do the backup, but it can also do the snapshot management for your VMs. How many disks we have, shall we exclude the disk from the backup, what's kind of the schedules we are using for today purposes, and what's the settings and the option, for example, to use the pre or the post snapshot command execution. Imagine that in many cases you would like to just go inside the VM and do, for example, backup application. So SSH access allows you to have the option to go into the VM by the SSH access. Okay, so here let's just do the backup operation for this machine. I will choose the incremental one because previously I did the full one, so I don't need to do the 2 times in a row. Let's choose the video dedupe compression FS1. Let's save it. It means that the backup task was actually submitted. And it goes and move me forward to the next tab called Task Console. Again, if you are familiar with the vProtect, you know that every backup task or restore task or recovery task is separated into the 2 different tasks. One is the export, so we actually taking this data from the hypervisors to the staging. Then we have a store that actually push or move or copy, depends what's the configuration, we have this data into the proper backup destination. So right now we can see that the export status is running. Let's do and see how it looks like in a native vProtect UI. I just opened the task console, and again, you can see actually the same view, of course, with different, a little bit different UI from the user experience, because this is the different technology, AngularJS, Patternfly. But in the end, the most important part is that you can see the same type of the statuses and the progress bar. Let me refresh it. 30, 30, progress bar. Let's wait for the incremental. That will be okay. You can see finish creating VM snapshots. So everything is going into the good direction. We just create a snapshot. We will unlock the snapshot and finalize the process. Yeah. Export store 100%. Same here. Okay, we are in a good shape. Let's go to the next tab. Next tab is the policies. Policies, like always, allows you to build option for the virtual environments backup for the snapshot management. So here you have a place where you can build the tags and decide if your VMs is actually attached to the stack, automatically assign this VM to the specific policy. And the policy or the regex regulation, regex based rules. But the major goal for the policy is to assign the specific VM or manually or via tags to the specific rule, and the rule saying when the backup should be done. It's a schedule and where the data should be stored. So the assignment to specific backup destination. Okay, so we've seen that we can create the policies, schedules, the same story like I showed you for the policies. Okay, finished removing snapshot. Good. So everything is in a good place. I will start straight away the recovery for this VM. Just give me a sec. I will finalize this tab. Here, this is the place where you can create a schedule, like webinar schedule 01 is active. Yes, it's incremental backup, for example. Is it interval, so every 120 minutes, or shall this be, say, in a daily basis, where it should be done in which month, or should be first in a month or last day in a month? We can decide it, and we can attach the specific schedule into the policy. So we can save it. I just want to show the example. Let's come back to our virtual machines. Let's grab 2006. There we go. Okay, so it's a time for not only the backup, but to see how we can restore the specific machine. So what I need to do is to just grab a specific snapshot, specific backup from point in time. So we have some fulls, we have two incrementals. I will grab the full from today, and I will decide where it should go. In my environment, I have oVirt, RHV, or OVM. You know exactly that it stands on the same technology, so the oVirt project. So I could use the different one, but I will use the oVirt hypervisor manager to send back the data to my cluster. This is information about the storage. I will not change anything. Would we like to overwritten the VM? I don't want to. I want to create a new one with the new name. Webinar restore Alpine 2006. Type of the storage pre-allocated or sparse. I will use the same as it was used to when I did the backup. So restoration has been submitted. Again, remember what I said, always the restore job will be separated into the two different tasks. Backup was to have an export and the store. Right now we will have restore and the import. So two tasks that will allows me to restore my machine. I'm going to the task console. I can see that the first task was just started. We need a few more minutes to finalize the restoration. We don't need to right now wait for it. It's I believe it's a great time to just go to the last tab called mounted backups. And this is also really good news because the first web UI extension for the oVirt was presented without option to have the individual files restoration feature. Right now we introduce and create a dedicated UI for it. So here you can see that I, as an administrator, can decide that, okay, I would like to grab this specific VM and I want to have the option to individually restore this specific files. So here you can, after you mount it, let's see how you should mount them, the backups. Again, let's find my machine. I will just use the example. You have a backup, mount, and restore. Mount means that I can again just grab the specific backup from point in time, like previous incremental, and I can decide that, okay, this mounted backup should go to this specific node. In the disk attachment strategy, this node, which is actually the data mover, it stays on the oVirt cluster itself. And we decided that, okay, this actual machine and all of the disks should be mounted as an Alpine with the specific timestamp, or we just can grab, but I don't want to mount all of the disk. I just want to choose manually which disk I would like to recover. Or really important and useful feature, I want to restore the data to the node, but then I would like to grab it and share it via the iSCSI through the specific host, for example. So after we choose, in most cases, let's choose the automatically, save it. I will not overload right now my demo, but imagine that after that, you go into the mounted backups, you choosing, for example, this VM01 Alpine, you go into the details or remount, unmount, and in the details, you can see what's the type of the mount path, what's the files actually. That is, we're using the guestfs tools to have the option to read the specific file system, like ext or the others. And here you can actually go easily, just browse and find the specific files that you would like to just grab, download, select it straight away from your web browser to your system. Okay, let's see where we are from the restoration perspective. Let's come back to our task console, restore, import. So it means that we should be good. When I will go to the compute virtual machines, there we go. We have a webinar restore Alpine 2006. Great to hear such as news that we already restored the machine. Let's power on this and see if it's properly working. Right now will be hard to open. Let's wait to see if it's already run. In the meantime, I will just use the mounted feature, because if it's already restored, I can use mounted feature. So mount, there we go, previous incremental, mount automatically, save, restore, and mount task was submitted. Task console, finish launching the webinar, restore Alpine. Great to hear. Now I need to download the specific app to have it, but we are good. It's up. The latest agent needs to be installed and running on it. I guess it should be done, but not at this point. Great news that we backup, use the incremental backup, store in a file system, restore and mounted, view the individual files restoration, and everything was done by the native UI engine called, again, let's remind the name of the project, oVirt Engine UI vProtect extension. So just Google it, grab the instruction, download it, and play with the vProtect and your oVirt to help to achieve your daily backup and recovery jobs from the one native Patternfly UI from the oVirt console. Keep in mind, you can always use our own native one, but for your convenience and for your easy of use, we do recommend to go to this plugin and play. And last thing, keep in mind that the 10 VMs are totally for free. The vProtect allows you to download the software, so just go to the Storware EU vProtect landing page to just download the freemium version. It has all of the features included, but the only limitation is the 10 VMs. So I advise you to just play with it, download the plugin, and enjoy the work that we've done lately as a development for you. Give me and my team the advices where this plugin should go, and what is the major feature that you use in a daily basis from the backup and recovery operation. Okay, that was a Storware webinar. My name is Pavel Monchka. I'm a CTO and VP at Storware. And go on our website, subscribe us on a different social media, and stay in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.